I'm going to ask you one question about money. Your answer won't just reveal your mindset, it will reveal your future 10 years from now, whether you're wealthy or still struggling, and it has nothing to do with your income, your age, or your degree. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago, a philosophy older than banks, older than business schools, older than the stock market, yet more accurate than all of them. Here's the question. When was the last time you said no to earning money, not no to spending, no to chasing it, no to grabbing every opportunity just because it pays? If you can't remember, you're failing the test, because the wealthy say no to money more than the broke ever realize. Warren Buffett turns down deals worth millions, sometimes billions, not because he lacks ambition, but because he protects his focus like a fortress. Naval Ravikant walked away from ownership in a company that later exploded in value. He could have taken the $200 million. He didn't, because his filter was stronger than his fear. Paul Graham rejects 99% of startup investments, not because they're all bad, but because most aren't the right use of his limited life and energy. And that's the difference. Most people ask, how much will this make me? The wealthy ask, how much will this cost me? Most people panic when money shows up. They see dollars and lose sight of time. They hear opportunity and stop thinking. Their inner voice whispers, sometimes screams, I can't afford to let this go. The wealthy inner voice says the opposite. I can't afford to let this in if it keeps me small, because they know a secret most never learn. Every yes to money is also a no to something else. A bigger opportunity, a better life, a sharper version of you. You just don't see the trade happening, but your future feels it. When you were 10, you learned your first money lesson. Maybe you watched your parents struggle. Maybe you heard constant worry. Maybe you saw bills handled like emergencies, not plans, and your brain formed a rule. Money equals safety. Money equals survival. Money equals scarcity. So when it appears, you grab it without judgment. You take every gig, every client, every extra hour, because saying no to money felt dangerous, almost immoral. You were taught it was stupid to turn money down, so you never built the muscle to reject it. That programming protected you as a child, but it sabotages you as an adult because you're not starving now. You're overcommitted, not poor, just overcrowded. You're not broke because you lack income. You're broke because you lack space. Space to think, to build, to scale, to grow into something bigger than hourly earnings. Because every time you say yes to the wrong money, you pay a tax invisible on bank statements. You pay with your time, your energy, your clarity, your peace, your potential. That difficult client who pays okay, they consume hours you could have invested into finding great clients. That small side hustle bringing in 1,000, it steals the mental bandwidth needed to build the 10,000 system. That pretty good opportunity, it occupies the chair where the exceptional one could have sat. You didn't lose money by saying yes. You lost capacity, which is far more expensive. The Stoics didn't fear having less. They feared becoming less. Epictetus said wealth isn't about possessions, it's about freedom from unnecessary commitments. The modern world calls it diversification, hustle, grind. The Stoic world calls it distraction, noise, self-betrayal, because leverage is never built in chaos, it's built in clarity. Cato once faced the most powerful man in Rome, Julius Caesar. Caesar offered him fortune, power, safety, status. All he had to do was bend one principle. Cato said no, instantly, not emotional, not impulsive, but because he had a filter stronger than empire. A simple question. Does this align with who I'm becoming? If no, reject it. Not because the money is bad, but because the version of you it creates is too small. Here's your new practice. Starting now, for the next 30 days, you'll say no to earning money at least once a week. Not chaotic no, strategic no, intentional no. When opportunity knocks, don't react, pause, and ask yourself, if I say yes to this, what am I sacrificing? Because every yes is a double-edged sword, and most people only see the shiny side. People will notice when you change. They'll call you picky. What they really mean is, you're no longer desperate. They'll call you entitled. What they really fear is, you're becoming valuable. They'll say you're not hungry enough. What they can't comprehend is, you're finally hungry for the right things. Their discomfort is not criticism, it's confusion, because you broke the conditioning they still live inside. Imagine this. Someone offers you work. Good money, not great money. Old you grabs it, new you pauses. You ask the question, you feel the weight, and you say no, politely, calmly, firmly. That evening, you suddenly have time, real time. You invested into building something bigger than the offer you declined. 2 weeks later, a better door opens. Not luck, space, not coincidence. Selection, not magic, clarity. And for the first time, you realize you're not making less by rejecting money. You're making room for more leverage, more aligned clients, more opportunity, more wealth, more you. Slow growth stops feeling like failure and starts feeling like proof. Proof that you're building something real. So right now, I'm giving you one final line to claim. Say it like it's already happening, not like you hope it will. Write this in the comments. I'm practicing the Stoic No. No hesitation, no maybe, no someday, because the people who say yes to everything stay busy. The people who say no strategically become wealthy. That is the Stoic way. That is the strategic way. That is the wealthy way. And it always was the only way.